Well, welcome to the Good Talk Podcast, where we remind you of the joy of life, the love of God, and the possibilities that lie ahead. Pete and Jordyn here with episode 85.
A little scary is probably good.
Ooh, I like that.
I feel like this is like Halloween-y.
A little scary is probably good. Now we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. Well, speaking of holidays and Halloween, we have a big week coming up.
We sure do. Super Bowl Sunday night.
You're going to the hot place for that.
What?
No. Look at my shirt.
Oh,
Don't act like you
I did not
didn't.
get to that. I promise you, I did not look at that sweatshirt.
I have
and
hearts.
think
For
Valentine's
those who are
Day.
listening, I have hearts all over my sweatshirt. I'm wearing hot pink. You didn't put two and two together.
No.
Okay.
I've seen you wear that shirt before on non-Valentine Day
Yeah,
days.
but I'm like shooting holiday content, like Valentine content.
Oh.
You don't just wear this to like
But
Kroger.
but let's be honest. Before we get to Valentine's Day, we do have the Super Bowl coming
Yeah.
up this Sunday.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't have any skin in the game, which
Eagles and
is
Chiefs?
fine.
Me either.
Like as a lot of women go, I'm here for the commercials and the carbs.
I heard this morning that there will be $15 billion gambled on the Super Bowl game.
That's so wild. Like I forget
That's
that people gamble
insane.
like prices. I mean,
$15 billion.
of course. I know. Whatever. You do you, boo. I'm just gonna eat my carbs and cheese and have a good old time watching commercials. If I can hear above your boys screaming at the television for the football game.
I'm not going to bet on this. I don't betting. I have nothing against it if that's your kind of little form of entertainment, unless you're addicted to it or whatever, and running your family to the ground. That'd be a problem. But I just don't like it because I want to enjoy the game.
Yeah.
For what it is.
Yeah,
and
just to
not be
relax.
thinking, oh my gosh, I need this guy to catch this pass.
Yeah.
I mean, I play fantasy football, but that's different.
Yeah. The stress is not worth it for you, especially how he's wired. He's like, you watch every penny that goes in and out of your wallet, and that would just tear you to pieces.
I would cry. I would cry.
It would tear you to
because
pieces.
I'd also probably bet on the team I wanted to win, so it's a double whammy. My team I wanted to win lost, and I lost money.
Well, good thing you're not. We're all glad for it.
Yep.
But Valentine's Day is on which day? Don't count.
Tuesday
Nice.
of next week.
You only know that because I just hounded you about what our plans were. Right?
I got big plans.
You got big plans, guys.
Big plans.
Yeah. Well, I think we have a debate about who, in the relationship, should plan Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah, I have
plans.
a problem with this.
I know. We had this conversation, and it made me so mad because I'm like, this is so unromantic.
No, I'm just saying, at what point did Valentine's Day become the man's responsibility to get all creative and romanticize but we're not celebrating. It's not Women's Day. It's Valentine's Day. We're celebrating a mutual love. So it should be mutually owned.
So if we were dating,
Yeah.
and it's Valentine's Day, which we have dated during Valentine's Day before, wouldn't it be on your mind to be like, I need to plan something special?
I can see where you would come to that conclusion. But I
Date your
think
spouse.
there's no reason this cannot be a mutual thing.
I'm not against saying, hey, should we go to lunch or dinner? But if you were to say, we're going to dinner, here's our reservation, we're going to this place. If you have a dessert place you want to go to after, you tell me.
Again, I'm not saying that I shouldn't plan something and express my love to you on this made up consumeristic holiday.
You're so annoying. You're so
I get
annoying.
that, but I also feel like this is not necessarily an event that it's not like your birthday. This is a mutual love. It's shared. We should both make plans.
Yeah, I'll get you a gift and all that, but I'm not going to probably buy you flowers, but according to Miley, I can buy myself flowers because I will. I'll buy myself flowers.
No, I'll buy them because mine will be cheaper than what you buy.
No, they'll come from the farm, which is really sweet and cute, but they're free.
All right.
Anyways,
I
let us know
apologize to all the women out
let us
there
know
if I'm in the wrong here.
what you think. No, I'm all for doing things together, but sometimes
Yeah.
I think the girls got my back on this one.
I'm sure.
All right, a little scary is probably good. I think
course.
you're have a scary Valentine's Day coming up.
Yeah,
if you don't plan something.
So this is an interesting conversation I have today, and I hope that it's really helpful to some people. But I think that We're going into 2023. I can still consider this the beginning of the year, even though we've floated into February at this point. And I spent some time last month kind of thinking back over the past year and analyzing at least a part of what I do. I've got multiple jobs, but one of my jobs is a life coach, and I love serving my clients at a really high level. And I just spent some time looking back over the past really 2 years and saying, where was I most effective in coaching? And then where did I miss the mark at times? And I started by actually listing what I believe are the 4 things that the vast majority of the clients I work with want.
Okay.
And I believe that these are probably 4 things that everybody listening wants.
Okay.
Okay. But the reality is, after I listed these things, was that while I have clients that may want these 4 things more than anything else, part of my job as a coach is to get them out of their head, to get them thinking differently or seeing differently than they normally would.
Okay.
That's what part of my job, I feel like, as a coach, is to be a disruptor. So my goal today, honestly, in the next few minutes, is to disrupt some of you and make you analyze what it is you've been saying you want, because I think what you want might need to be redirected in a different direction.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So the 4 things that I think the vast majority of my clients would say that they want are more confidence, more clarity about the future, more certainty that it's all going to work out,
Okay.
and number 4, to feel comfort in the process. Like, I think initially, that's why a lot of people engage with a life coach, a therapist, a mentor, right? They want more confidence, more clarity, more certainty, and more comfort throughout the whole process.
So true.
But the reality is, as I kind of analyze the people I've worked with and the results that they get, for them to achieve the things that they say they want to achieve, they actually need something different than what they say that they want.
Okay.
All right. So I kind of flip all those things upside down. And I'll just say that, in my opinion, all those things, I understand why we all want them, but I think they're highly overrated.
Okay.
So we'll start with confidence. I think confidence is overrated. Everybody wants confidence before they begin something new, but it's actually the payoff for taking action when you feel afraid. Right? That's the way it works. Fear, it's interesting. We've talked about this before on the podcast, but fear is often a mask for desire, right? Which means your lack of confidence can actually become a compass that's like quietly pointing you in the direction that you really want to go.
Okay, elaborate on that.
Okay, so when you feel fear or you feel a lack of confidence about something, often that's a mask for passion. Right. Fear and passion are 2 emotions that are very closely related. So when I feel fearful, let's say, or nervous before I go out and speak, it's also because I'm really passionate about what I'm about to speak on. Those 2 emotions can flip-flop back and forth real quick.
Yeah.
Fear and passion. So when you feel fearful about something, the reason you feel so fearful is because this is something that's really important to you.
Yeah, that's good.
So fear masks passion. So when you feel fear, you feel a lack of confidence in a certain area. What you have to understand is that's not a warning sign that you shouldn't go down that road. That's often a compass that's pointing you towards what you desire the most.
That's really good.
And you got to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
And so I think confidence, while everybody wants confidence on the front end, it is a result, not a requirement.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about that too on the podcast before, where it's like you think you need confidence to start, but really you need the courage, and confidence follows.
Yeah, confidence is the end result. It's something that happens at the end. Now, we watch certain people that are trying new things or stepping out in faith, and their actions look like they have confidence. Rarely do they actually have confidence. They might have courage, and courage can sometimes appear on the outside like confidence.
Yeah, that's true.
But courage and confidence on the inside feels very different.
So true.
And so, again, just remembering that when you're trying something new, and it doesn't matter if it's a new relationship, it doesn't matter if it's a new job, it doesn't matter if it's a new product or company that you're starting, everything inside of you is going to want confidence. But that's you need courage in that moment. Confidence is the result.
Yeah. It's interesting because confidence really is only known by you.
Correct.
To be like totally honest. I'm sure there are ways that your lack of confidence can like show through your actions, but like I can think of times in our like work life where there was something we were not qualified to do. And we walked in there like we were.
Yep.
And no one had a clue that we weren't. And
Yep.
it's not that we were like lying or being deceitful. We just didn't have experience to match where we were about to do.
They might have
But they thought we were confident.
Right, but we weren't. We were courageous. We were willing to step into that fear. I was doing a podcast a couple weeks ago, and the guy asked me kind of like to define, we were talking about this exact same topic, and he was like, well, define what that looks like to have courage when you don't have confidence. And I was like, well, fear is wetting your pants. Mm-hmm. Courage is doing whatever you want to do with wet pants.
Yeah.
It's not that the fear disappears.
Yeah.
It's that you have the courage to push against the fear. Actually, like I said, even follow the fear, knowing it could possibly be a compass because it's just a mask for what you're really passionate about.
Yeah. I mean, I say all that to say, like, confident. If you're worried about your lack of confidence, you're likely also worried about what other people think. But there's a good chance 90% of the time they don't even know.
Absolutely.
So it's like that's one thing I feel like is easy to switch your brain of like faking confidence until you have it. Especially if you're worried what other people think, because you can fake that all day long. I do it, you do it. Like it's just something that because it is an end result, people really just think that because you're faking it, you're already at your end result of confidence.
Yeah,
so
totally.
It's interesting.
That's a great point. Yep. So the second thing is clarity, and I think clarity is overrated. A lot of people feel like, again, when they engage with a coach, a mentor, whatever, that they do that to get more clarity, and sometimes that happens, but clarity is overrated. Everybody wants it moving forward, but clarity, again, is something that you tend to get in the rearview mirror. Mm-hmm. And this goes to exactly what we were just talking about a second ago. Some of the best leaders and entrepreneurs I know are constantly making things up. Right. And when you make something up, it looks like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because people trust you. But nobody ever really knows if their newest idea is actually going to work. Mm-hmm. They don't know that. It reminds me of that quote that you love to talk about, the don't compare your rough draft to somebody's like finished copy or final draft. Because we see people kind of launch new endeavors and try new things, and we think like that they have complete clarity, but usually they're just making it up. They're just trying something.
Yeah.
And this is interesting. I did a little research, but some of the most iconic and successful brands pivoted on their way to success, and most of us have no idea. Here's some examples. Starbucks, right? They launched a business selling espresso makers and coffee beans. Mm-hmm. That's how they started.
Right.
That's and somewhere along the way, they pivoted and they figured it out. Nintendo, this is a great one because I grew up with Nintendo. Nintendo was first a taxi company, then it was a hotel chain, it was a TV network, it was an instant rice company before they finally got into computer games. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Nokia began as a Finnish paper mill in 1865. Billion-dollar chewing gum company Wrigley's started by selling soap and selling baking powder before it transitioned into chewing gum. Like, I love these examples because we look at these big brands and like, oh, they've got it figured out. Well, maybe they do now, but they didn't start there.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon's such a good one too. They started out selling books, and now they're the world's leader in all consumer goods.
Yep.
Yeah, it's wild. I think as you're talking about like clarity, I almost think, and maybe I'm wrong in this, but I feel like clarity kills creativity and curiosity. So like for me, if I had true clarity on some directions I want to go in my life, I wouldn't keep throwing darts, you know?
Yeah, you wouldn't keep asking questions.
I wouldn't keep asking questions. I would say, oh, that's the path. Here I go on that path. Whereas maybe there were some other things I needed to learn and trial and fail along the way to really get to the path, just like all those companies you just mentioned with their product. But I do think that clarity kind of kills creativity, at least in my life.
Yeah.
And so I think some of the most inspired times in my life have been times where I don't really know what plan B is, you know, or the next step is.
I'll add one word because I think you just came up with a really good quote. I've never heard it said that way, but I'll add illusion to that. The illusion of clarity kills creativity.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, you're right. It is an illusion.
Yeah, because you probably don't have it
still
figured out.
don't have it. Yeah, but the illusion of clarity kind of gives you a posture of like, I've got this figured out. I don't have anything to learn. And I'm not saying you can't like have an idea that you know is something you want to do. But I do think like there's peace in the lack of clarity because of that.
Absolutely. Yep. I mean, I think the thing to remember is that pretty much all the great leaders, all they're ever doing is making things up. No matter how many slides they have in their pitch deck or how many pages in their business plan, they made it up. And it's trial and error. And like, I think most people, Jordyn, would have no idea the number of things that we've made up over the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, we've made up a lot of stuff. And, some people would think, oh, they got it together. They've had a lot of little successful endeavors, started some businesses. Yeah, but you only know about those things because we continue to talk about those things because those things continue to work out. There's plenty of things that have not worked out for us. You just don't know about them because we don't talk about them.
Yeah.
We don't talk about our vlog anymore.
No, it's gone, y'all. It's too much work.
It may come out. It just didn't fit with our lifestyle, right? We didn't have the margin to really do that, but I'm glad that we tried it.
Yeah, and that's a great example. I thought I had clarity on we need to do this vlog because it'll help me document family memories and yada, yada, yada. But what did that do? It turned me to now creating content on social media in such a way that's getting more views and being able to provide some income. Like, that's a great example of like a pivot. It's something we tried. We were throwing a dart and that dart didn't hit the bullseye. And now I'm like, okay, let's see how I can repurpose some of the things we learned. But yeah, I think that's such a great example of that.
Yeah, I love that. Third thing everybody wants, but I think it's way overrated, is certainty. In uncertain times, and I think most of us listening to this right now would agree that we live in uncertain times. It's uncertain politically, it's uncertain economically. Like, and in uncertain times, what we want is more certainty, but what we actually need is more creativity.
So explain the difference between clarity and certainty.
I think clarity would be more of a actual plan or a path.
Okay, yeah.
Certainty is something more that you feel inside.
Okay, got it.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the certainty aspect is, again, when things feel uncertain or feel shaky, you want them to feel more stable. You want them to feel more safe. This is more about kind of withdrawing into that comfort zone.
Yeah, just tell me I'm going to be okay, or tell me I'm going to be successful at something, or
that it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that's where people tend to drift when things feel uncertain. If things feel uncertain in your career or in a relationship, you try to lock on to what you know, what is safe. I actually think that in uncertain times, in any category of your life, that's when you need the most creativity. And so people get stuck here. In uncertain times, people get stuck. They get paralyzed. They don't know what to do next. And my encouragement is do something, do anything. The force of forward motion, right? So find one person to serve and serve them so powerfully that they never forget you the rest of their life. Not sure what to do? Create one thing. Write an article, design some new IP, come up with a new product, a new distinction, a new program, a new business. Like, it's not the time to play it safe. It's the time to get creative and to try different things. And whenever I'm struggling, we've talked about this before, but when I'm struggling to be creative, what I have to remember is usually that's a result of me being empty and I need to fill up.
Yes, totally.
Right? So working harder and longer in that moment is not going to produce more results for you in your life. It's just not, right? So instead of trying to work harder, engage in whatever fills you up. And this feels counterproductive because when you're in uncertain times and you need to increase your creativity, we almost all go to, well, I just have to work harder, right? No. You got to fill up because creativity is the most important thing you need in uncertain times. So go for a walk, attend the concert, watch a movie, go exercise, eat an inspiring, meal at a really cool restaurant. Do whatever fills you up. And then, and only then, go back and try to create in the uncertain time.
That's really good. So true.
Yep. How do you fill up the best?
Just making things. Creating things. It can be anything. Like
those little puff balls you've been making?
Literally staring at them. So yeah, I like, as soon as I feel, if I'm ever like bored or like empty, my immediate thought is like, I need to make something. I don't even know how to explain that. It's just always been how I've been wired since I was a little girl. I just make and bake and create and design and all of that. So like right now I learned how to make pom-poms yesterday.
There you go.
Like literal, little pom-poms that you could probably actually buy cheap, but I want to know how to make them.
Yeah.
And you and I were on a call yesterday, and it's a call that required lots of like thinking and understanding, and I had to sit there and make so that my brain was free.
Yeah.
Like I don't it almost like frees my brain to think better when I am in the creative process. But yeah, that's
like
how
that.
I fill it. How do you fill it? Be it nature, outside,
Nature, and then I'd say inspiration, like a book or movie.
reading. Yeah.
Those really fill me up, because that's like, especially a movie allows me to quiet my mind. All I think about is not the problem or the challenge. It's like I immerse myself in that story.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, usually that fills me up a lot.
Yeah, it's good.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Fourth thing that people want but is highly overrated is comfort. Because everything that you want in life is kept out in direct proportion to the amount of discomfort you are unwilling to feel.
Say that again.
Everything that you really want in life is kept out of your life in direct proportion to the amount of discomfort you are unwilling to feel. You could swap that around and say everything that you truly desire in life will come in direct proportion to how comfortable you can be with being uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
That's where it comes, right? So if you want to get healthier and stronger, your workouts have to be challenging. It's like, that so Jordyn loves the Peloton. I endure the Peloton, and I pretty much all year I've been doing, they have these different categories of rides, and I do, what's it called?
You do like the feel good or the low impact.
Yes, feel good or low impact, which basically means they're a lot easier than the other workouts.
Yeah.
Well, here's the reality. I'm probably not going backwards, but I'm not forging ahead. I'm not getting healthier. I'm not burning more calories. I'm not building more muscle by taking that route, right?
Yeah.
It's too comfortable. And so, again, for there to be gains in your life, really in any category, there has to be challenges, right? There has to be a pulling, a stretching. Again, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think if you really want to be successful, you have to increase the number of uncomfortable conversations you're willing to have. If you really want to be successful, you have to do some things that scare you. Again, the title of this podcast, A Little Scary is Good, because all of these things, right, that we're talking about here, all of them are about avoiding something. When you want more confidence, more clarity, more certainty, more comfort, ultimately what you are trying to avoid is the unknown, the uncomfortable. You're trying to stay inside your warm little bubble where everything feels great. And so for there to be growth in your life, and listen, I'm not telling anybody anything that they don't already know.
Yeah.
If you look back on your life, the moments that you had the most transformation, the moments that you had like that great breakthrough success, the moment that your marriage went to that next level, what preceded that? Every time it is a challenge. It is a situation where, you all of a sudden have to become extremely vulnerable. Like, it's always on the other side of a challenge. You're never going to just drift your way into a breakthrough or drift your way into a new level of success. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I get why people want these things. I get why people would come to me wanting me to help them find these things inside of a coaching relationship. But ultimately, my job is to, if their wants don't ultimately meet where they actually want to be, I have to redirect those wants and help them begin to embrace the uncomfortability that comes along with a few of these things, or letting a few of these things go so they can actually get to where they want to be.
Yeah. I find the discomfort and a little bit of that scariness now in my life. I'm not saying this has always been this way, but I actually am most like energized in those seasons, because I do know that means I'm not just like sitting.
Yep.
I'm not stagnant. I'm not idle. And so to me, there are elements of like, okay, this could be like excitement a little bit when there's discomfort. Not saying there's no fear along that, or I don't want clarity. Of course I do. But I don't know. I feel like lately I've had such a there's something I'm trying to figure out in stuff that I'm doing, and I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, that inability to put my finger on it is energizing, and it's like all I think about, which I think is exciting, because I could be sitting there and not like uncomfortable, and there are seasons like that for everybody, where you're not always going to be climbing this hill and reaching a top of something. But I do think that when you do feel that discomfort, it's actually if you can train your brain and perspective to feel excited, it becomes like this bowling ball down a hill.
That's key. There's a mental visualization tool that I've been working on creating, and it's not an original idea to me, so I'm trying to kind of morph it into a way that I think will really serve the people I work with the best. But it does essentially exactly that. Because what you've got to do is almost look at that cloud of fear, which ultimately you view as pain, right? Like what you fear is some kind of pain, the pain of rejection, the pain of failure, pain of judgment. And you have to mentally see that, but also be able to see what's on the other side of it, which is ultimately what you really want. And have to say, I value growth more than I value comfort. Therefore, I will walk into this cloud of pain.
Yeah.
I will feel everything it has to offer me, not because I'm sadistic and want to feel pain, but because I want what's on the other side of it, which is growth.
Which boils down to something that you're a huge proponent of, even in coaching and the courses you've taught, is your what needs a why. Your whatever's on the other side of that cloud or the other side of the hill, you have to have a why so that you can walk through those clouds. And if your why is strong enough, I think you can walk through anything. So anyway, that's really good. I like that.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
It's fun. It's fun stuff. I was going to throw in there too, most of the people I work with, I do a 1-year deal. We walk together for a year, which I love that. That's my preference. I'm full right now for 1-year clients. However, I do have space for some 6-week clients. So if you find yourself out there and you're just stuck right now, right? Maybe for you, you're stuck on trying to find the clarity and the confidence and all that, and you just need some help navigating it. It could be a relationship thing. It could be a career thing. I love helping people get unstuck. And so if you're interested in that, I think that's sometimes a more attractive first step. A year is a long commitment. With your time and your money. 6-week commitment is a lot easier, so be more than happy to help you try to get unstuck. I've got a few of those spots available if interested.
Go to petewilson.co, or even on your Instagram. I know a lot of people reach out to you there. But if you reached out to petewilson.co, there's a little form on there. You can fill that out, or like we just said, his Instagram is @PWilson in the DMs. So.
I do better with the forms than I do Instagram.
He does. Sometimes DMs go into a flood of.
They just get lost.
So definitely go and check out the website. If you have any problems, let me know. But that's a great place to get involved. And 6 weeks is a good amount of time to like really just kind of shift gears. And I think it's a good time of year. I was just thinking yesterday, okay, it's February. Have I really moved the mark on my goals? And so I think this is a good time to readjust and reassess, because there's still a whole year. We got 11 more months. But if we didn't totally get off on the perfect right foot, where we were super motivated, fix it now. Don't wait till June and be like, dang it, I wish I had really, invested in that earlier. So anyway.
And I just want to say this as we close. I cannot wait for next week to celebrate you on Valentine's Day, to give you and honor you. In all the different ways that you deserve.
Oh gosh, I just, I can't wait.
I just publicly want to say happy Valentine's Day, honey.
Follow us on IG if you want to see what actually goes down on Valentine's Day. Oh boy, pray for us. I'm just kidding. No, it'll be good. We'll find something to do.
Yeah, of course we will.
Yeah, well. Anyways, happy Valentine's Day, you guys. Thank you for listening. As always, please subscribe, follow, do all the things, share. I love you people who share our podcast. It's so awesome and so helpful. We obviously do this just so that it helps more people. So sharing is one way that we can get out there a little bit more. Thank you for that awesome, inspiring talk. I feel really inspired.
Good.
And that was another
Good Talk.